All right, here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What the freak? Okay, hold up. Oh my gosh. All right guys, it's Tony with MTB Drop-In, and today I'm back at Jax Bicycle Shop and I have some new stuff here yet again. This is going to be a continuation video of my previous video when I compared clipless pedals to flat pedals. Everybody was like, dude, you didn't really compare them. Well, it's kind of like a series. So today I'm going to be actually unboxing the clipless shoes and the clipless pedals. So it's going to be my first time. I've been riding for a year and a half and I've never ever tried clipless ever. Ever since I got into mountain bike riding, it's always been like, oh, I ride flats. Oh, I ride clipless. Oh, flats are better. Oh, clipless are better. It's just this endless debate, you know, and people are just like kind of just polarized on each side. And I've ridden flats for like the whole time that I've ever ridden. So from now on, I'm going to be actually on my clipless pedals for probably quite some time. This is not just going to be like, oh, I'm just going to put them on and try them and then review them. No, I'm going to actually be really putting everything I have into basically mastering clipless pedals. I would like to be in a place where I'm actually good at both, so I can kind of interchange for when, you know, the terrain suits one or the other. So with that being said, let's get to the best part and open this stuff up. The shoes that I decided to go with are the, what are these? I don't even know what they are. Stealth, what are these? So the shoes I decided to go with are this 510 Stealth shoe. The reason why I went for these was for absolutely no particular reason, but that they were on sale. And they were very discounted. I guess these are like the Rastafari version or something like that. And I'm assuming they didn't sell well. So it was just a great deal. And I think it's a pretty cool looking shoe. So everybody was like giving me recommendations for different types of clipless pedals, so I'm going to show you guys right now what I decided to actually go with ultimately. So I actually ended up getting the XT M8000 Trail Clipless Pedals. They have these in a trail version and they also have these in a cross-country version. The trail version has like more of a platform, as I'll show you guys right now. Alright guys, so this is how they look right here. They have more of a platform. The XT versions have like, they take out this part and they take out this part, and it's basically just this and this. So since I was coming from like flats, you know, I thought it would be an easier transition to go with like, say, something like in the trail category, or in a sense, or in other words, something with the actual platform, because I think I may really have a tough time transferring from flats onto something that's a lot thinner than this, because this is thin enough. I mean, if you look at my pedals, they probably will go over, you know, so this is still pretty tiny. So I'm really interested to see how I'm gonna feel about them. So I talked to a couple friends and they did tell me like, okay, you're gonna hate flat going to clipless pedals for like probably the first 3 months. You know, you gotta really get used to them and you really gotta put some time in them to actually be able to, I guess, to really start enjoying them. Alright guys, so one more thing I wanted to let you guys know is I actually decided to go with the SPD pedals and not like the Crank Brothers pedals. I rather at this point in time go for something that I have more confidence in being able to unclip on. It just makes me feel a little bit safer. So that's why I went with the SPD pedal. But you know, you gotta weigh out your pros and cons, and I decided to go with Shimano. Alright guys, so oh my gosh, cut. Alright guys, so I'm back here. I'm here with Jordan, and he's gonna be taking us back to school again in regards to clipless pedals and giving us some more information about that. I also had quite a few questions. I'm not gonna be able to get to them all, but I'm gonna ask Jordan a couple of things that were brought up actually on the comments of the last video and kind of get his input on a couple of those things too. So guys, stay tuned for that. So right now, Jordan's just gonna be taking off the old pedals, and which he already did, it's gone. And then we're gonna be installing the new clipless pedals.
Don't forget your grease.
Don't forget your grease. See other video for more information on why grease is important. Just in case it's like not obvious.
The thing with clipless is a lot of people buy them, they try them one time, and they're like, oh, I can't do this is crazy. And then they get rid of them. Well, you're never gonna get good at them if you approach it that way. So if you get them, try them. Yeah, you're probably not gonna be an expert your first time. No one is. Stick with it though, and
So what's your best argument for clipless pedals? Because you use them all the time, right?
Everything. Racing downhill, jumping.
So what is your argument? We need to get Jordan's argument for clipless pedals because everyone decided to give theirs, so let's hear what Jordan's is.
My feet are always where they need to be. So those of you who have like a nice flat pedal and some nice tacky shoes where it sticks to really nice, I'm sure all of you have experienced having your feet like cockeyed on the pedal, getting ready to jump, and you can't move it very easy because it's stuck so well to the shoe because of the tacky rubber. And then you're going off a jump with your feet all kind of funky. When you're clipped in, your feet are always right where they need to be.
Always.
And then also, it just allows a little bit easier working of the bike because you can pick the rear end better up with the bike with your feet attached.
So that brings me to one of my questions, Jordan. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, like that's just bad technique if you're going to be pulling up on your bike with your clipless pedal. So that shouldn't even be happening." So what's up with that, man?
I don't see why there's any bad technique in that. I mean, it's just another method you can use to maneuver your bike and get your bike over obstacles. So why would it be technique?
I don't know. And you can bunny hop and do all that stuff, right?
Yep.
I'm thinking some of the people that commented in regards to using bad technique and pulling up in your pedals is bad, you're probably referring to if like you're just getting into the sport and you don't have any like bike skill at all. Like, yeah, of course, just putting on clipless pedals might not be the way to go because you're kind of not taking that time to learn like proper technique when it comes to like bunny hops and stuff like that.
So some of this stuff comes down to personal preference. So don't think that there's, this ultimate right way to ride a bicycle or wrong way or ultimate right pedal you should be using and all that kind of stuff, because there are World Cup racers who use clipless. There are World Cup racers who use downhill flat pedals.
Good points.
They're both fast.
Very good points.
I don't think pedals are the issue, and I don't think pedals are going to be the determining factor of you getting faster or slower or better or whatever.
I got reported to me from like several people, Jordan, that people were experiencing like knee pain and they had to get away from clipless pedals. Now, why does there seem to be this trend of like knee pain associated with clipless pedals?
Well, it all kind of comes down to setup. So if your setup is off, and that can be, you can see how much movement is there on the shoe with how you can set your cleat up. If that positioning is off, if your cleat's too far forward, you could be putting more strain on your knees. It could also come up to saddle adjustment. So your saddle fore and aft position here on the seat is also going to become more critical of an adjustment because your feet are now locked in a position. You can't adjust your feet accordingly to how your body moves in a sense. So when you snap in, your alignment is fixed. And now other areas kind of become important with adjustment. So if someone's messed up here, if someone's messed up here, you're going to get knee pain. But if you're set up correctly, you really shouldn't have knee pain. And I've had people have knee pain with flat pedals too. Again, when you have a tacky shoe like this and you go on a flat pedal, it doesn't allow for much movement either. So if you put your foot on the pedal and it's kind of cockeyed and you're going through your rotation, you can also do harm to your knees. So it's two ways there.
That's very interesting because for the first time I've actually experienced knee pain. I was experiencing it the other day and I experienced it on my right knee. And one of the issues that I've been having, for some reason I can't ever keep my right foot in the right place. Like my foot's always cockeyed on my right. My left's always good, but my right's bad. So now that he says that, it's probably because my foot's always all over the place on my right. And just so happens and that's where I had the pain on my right knee.
And don't forget, knee pain's a funny thing. Knee pain doesn't always have to do with the bike adjustment. Our bodies do break down, believe it or not. So if you have prior existing knee issues or injuries, you could have a bunch of different problems. So if you know the bike's checked out or the bike's been checked out and you think everything's in alignment, then my next recommendation would be to see a good sports medicine doctor to see if you have maybe some underlying issues.
Good stuff. Totally. All right, so I guess now we're going to be moving on to putting on the cleats. I've never seen this done. I have no idea what all these little parts are in the bag, so I'm sure a lot of you guys out there that have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to clipless pedals don't know how all these things go on and where they should actually be.
So on mountain bikes, and this is going to be subjective, so I'm sure some of you are going to be like, oh, that's not how, so-and-so does it or whatever. This is how I've done it with my personal shoes, it seems to work out. This is how I do it for a lot of clients, and doesn't seem to be an issue. To me, having the cleat further back rather than further forward seems to be easier on your knees. And then it also puts, especially for mountain bikes, it puts your foot more of a stance that you would kind of have on your flat pedal, and less strain on, in my opinion, your ankles, your knees, and all that kind of stuff.
So more on the balls of your feet.
You always want to be just kind of back of the ball of your foot. If you're right on the ball of your foot, sometimes you can make some nerves angry and stuff like that. Definitely we see that more like on the road bikes and stuff, because you're pedaling in the same position and you're not getting out of your saddle as much, and you're riding for 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 miles on road bikes. So a lot of fit stuff becomes that much more critical. On a mountain bike, you know, you're standing up, you're moving around, you're adjusting for terrain, cornering, all that kind of stuff. So you tend to move around a lot more, but fit-wise, we have a little bit more room to play with since you're not on the bike as long and you're moving around a little bit more.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Totally.
The other thing we do that I do for a quick cleat kind of install for someone is I have them stand and face me, and then I have them do a neutral stance to see if they toe out, toe in. That will kind of affect how you want to position the cleat, either cocked like that or like that, or more neutral.
Okay, so do I just go like my natural stance?
Just your natural stance. So just kind of pick your feet up, kind of neutralize a little bit. So you kind of toe out a little bit. So when you toe out, you're kind of imagining that when your shoe's on the pedal, you're kind of, and with it installed, you're kind of kicking your foot out like that.
Okay.
Or actually you're toeing out, so
you're like that.
It'd be like that.
Okay.
So if your cleat's stationary and you're moving your foot, you're going to be more something turned in like that. That's probably a little extreme, but you can see how it's the way that it's positioned. So there's two holes to position your cleat, forward and back. For setting up, generally, I'll do the upper ones, and then I'll come to where that back plate comes back a little bit.
Okay, so you work on getting the top holes in position, then you do the reverse? I mean the ones on the bottom?
No, I mean, you're not putting anything in the bottom. It's just an option.
Oh, okay.
But it's a way for me to always know that that's kind of my starting point.
Okay.
Top holes and all the way back. Very rarely do you need them, especially with 510 shoes, because they give you a lot of adjustment room.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever put cleats on those bottom holes and all the way back. That puts your foot really far out there, but I mean, depending on your situation, we might have to utilize that. So.
All right, guys. So Jordan was just telling me right now, because I told him my whole spiel on, and the consensus of what everybody's been telling me is that SPDs are easier to get out of, but Crank Brothers are easier to, like, you know, a little bit harder to get out of, but you can move your foot a little bit more. Jordan kind of like disagrees and is saying that it's like more personal preference, and he finds that XPDs you're actually able to have more movement than clipped in when you are clipped in.
Let me clarify.
Clarify,
okay.
Please, because I'm dying. I'm driving.
So I would 100% agree that SPDs are easier to get in and out of. They have adjustable spring tension, which Crank Brothers don't. So they're definitely easier to snap in, snap out of. The personal preference part for me is I feel like I get a little bit more constant spring tension on the bottom of my foot, which makes me feel a little bit more stable on Crank Brothers than on Shimano SPDs. When I snap in, I feel like what they call, it's called float. It's once you're in the pedal, how much movement you have before you get out. I feel like the Shimanos have a little bit more than what I kind of like, and that's just my personal preference. So
basically all this is going to end up, like I'm telling you, 3 months from now when I tell you what I think of them and everything, the conclusion I can already tell you now is what's going to be. It's all personal preference, and it's all about what you have trained your body and brain to get used to. So there it is, guys. The mystery has been solved. I cracked it. Make sure that everybody knows that I cracked it, and send them over to my channel.
Right there. Okay, that's our tension adjustment for the springs. So there's a plus and a minus. When you turn it towards the minus, you're going to lessen the spring tension, which is going to make it easier to get in and out of. And then if you find that you're getting in and out of too easily, then you turn it towards the positive, and that will increase spring tension. So for new riders, I'll generally open them all the way up and have them test it in the store here and see if they can get in and out of it easier, and then maybe I'll do a couple clicks and have them go ride it, depending on how they're doing. For Tony here, he's a noob, so we're gonna, gonna open him up.
I'm the noob. So you're gonna put it at like a 3, would you say?
I'm going to go to the defined stopping point. And there's two sides, so make sure on SPDs you adjust both sides on each pedal. Be hard, you know.
Hold on, I see what you're saying. Because you're gonna clip it, you can clip in on both sides. So you got, yeah, this one might be hard and the other one might be loose. Interesting. That must have resulted in a lot of injuries. Ugh. All right.
Okay.
I feel
so
weird.
what's your dominant foot?
My dominant foot's my right.
Okay. So we're gonna start with our right foot,
Okay.
and we're always gonna try to get in, and when the pedal's in the 6 o'clock position, it's always the easiest there. So pedal back, all the way back. Okay. And before you try to do this, it's a hook and step motion. So you're gonna take, if this is your pedal, this is your shoe, and the cleats on the bottom. You're gonna come in and hook the pedal, and then step into it with the heel down. Yep.
Holy crap! I did it. My first clip in. That was crazy.
Okay, so to get out, you're gonna, with your foot flat, don't try to pull up on your foot at all. You're gonna keep your heel flat, and you're gonna kick out with your heel. Just like that.
Alright.
Okay, don't be afraid to hurt the pedal. You can't hurt the pedal.
Okay.
Okay?
There we go.
Okay, and you need to memorize that feel. Basically what you're gonna do is when you get home, you need to just practice getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. And you need to not be looking at it. You need to memorize it doing
Just
it
how-
in and
just
out.
how it
Because when
feels.
you're on the trail, you can't be looking down and trying to get in, and the rock comes in your way, and you hit it and you fall over.
That would suck.
Memorize. See, there it is.
Alright. And I do feel a lot of initial wiggle with these. Oh, that is ooh, that's like ice. It feels like ice. This sucks. I think I gotta go order Crank Brothers now. Oh my god. Okay, so does it feel like that? Like,
You'll get used. I mean,
does it feel like that if you tighten them?
yeah.
What the? Okay. I'm gonna kill everybody who said. Okay, I'm not gonna kill anyone, but jeez. Alright, let me see if I can at least get this one in. What the crap? These are gonna be fun.
There it is.
Alright, there we go. Holy, this scares the hell out of me.
You don't notice it as
You don't notice it as much when you
you're
go?
riding. So you don't get as much of that with the Crank Brothers.
Okay, so will they decrease a little bit when you tighten it or
You can
no?
try it. So you want to try going a little tighter?
Yeah, try going tighter. Cause that sucked. I could totally tell like my dominant foot. It's easier to get in there than my. Oh, I just had him. I just came out. Screw it. I'm about to give up. Alright.
See, that's the problem. People are like, oh, I won't give up. It's too hard.
Damn it! Alright, I don't give up. I just give up tonight. So, I feel a little too close to Jordan right now, I'm just saying. I just feel like we're having an intimate moment. Alright, so I got him on. I know what he's talking about with the float, and it literally feels like you're on ice. So it's scary. But I'm gonna try to get used to it. I'm gonna tighten it up as time goes on, and I'm gonna go home, practice. I'm gonna find like a grassy field. I'm gonna practice clipping and unclipping so I can get a little bit more comfortable with doing this. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this. Can't believe I am. It's really scary, but let's do it.
This is something that you typically don't pick up right away. So a lot of people get frustrated with it and they take them off and they quit. But if you put a little work into it and you work on memorizing where your cleats at on your foot, it becomes like second nature. And before you know it, you're not even thinking about it. Like I put my feet on my pedals and they snap in, I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And then when I feel that that little bit of like, oh, I might go down, my feet are automatically coming out. It's built into the wiring now after you do it for so long. So stay with it if it's something you really want to do. I think there's a lot of benefits to it. So
I would not have made that joke if there was no